Stand up, New York Giants fans! Welcome back, football fans. Today we're going to preview the standout prospect from Alabama, the nose guard, Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams this year absolutely soared up draft charts. Going into this year, I mean, a lot of people possibly thought that this guy wasn't even going to make the pros. He couldn't get on the football field. Now, granted, he played for Alabama. They have a bunch of talented players. But he was only averaging 7 snaps a game his sophomore season. And he didn't even play his freshman year. I mean, this guy couldn't get on a football field. And this year, he took off. And there's a lot of factors as to why that happened. But before I get into that, I want to go back to Quinnen's beginnings. Quinnen Williams grew up in Alabama, and he actually grew up an Auburn fan, which was the first team he actually committed to before transferring to Alabama for his freshman year. His mother, when he was only 12 years old, passed away from cancer, and it was sudden because she didn't tell anybody. She hid the secret because she thought that it would carry too big of a burden on her family. And Quinnen Williams, out of all of his siblings, was by far the closest to his mother, and he still can't talk about her death to this day. That's how passionate he is about it. But what he did was he took his sadness, his frustration out on the football field. And his coaches at an early age, junior high school, they said that they couldn't get this guy out of the weight room. All he did was work out because that's what he focused on. That was his primary focus. That was his way to get away from everyday life because he was that upset about the passing of his mother's death. And it has made him so tough because of it. Williams, coming out of high school, was a 4-star recruit. He was ranked 31st overall as a D lineman in all of high school football and 113th overall at any position. He was the 113th overall rated prospect. He took his talents to Alabama, and he was actually an edge rusher coming out of high school. His freshman and sophomore year, he couldn't get on the field. As I said, his sophomore year, he got on a little bit. He averaged 7 snaps a game, but he was an edge rusher. He weighed 260 pounds. And what he did was he converted to nose tackle, but to do that, he had to put on a ton of weight. He averaged 35 to 40 pounds in the offseason to get close to 300 pounds to allow him to become a nose tackle. And since he did that, he has broken out in a huge way. He won the award this year for best lineman overall, O-line or D-line, in the entire country, and he took over college football. His teammates are quoted as saying he would be on the sideline saying, "I'm going to get 2 sacks this drive," and then he would deliver. He is that talented. He can do what he wants on a football field, and that is the reason he has been compared to such great players as guys like Aaron Donald, as guys like Gerald McCoy. His physical makeup is more like a Gerald McCoy because Aaron Donald is, of course, 6 feet tall. McCoy's tall, like a 6'3", 6'4", nose tackle, similar to Quinnen Williams. As a Giants fan, I would love it if Quinnen Williams somehow dropped to the Giants 6th overall. I watched this guy play in the national championship game, and even in that game where Clemson was thrown all over them, Quinnen Williams was all over the football field. He was getting the push up front against this Clemson offensive line. He is an animal. His first year as a starter, he had 8 sacks and 19.5 tackles for a loss. That is ridiculous from an interior lineman, and that is why a lot of people say he could be the next Aaron Donald. Now, I'm not expecting that, and as a Giants fan, I recognize our biggest need is not an interior defensive lineman, but this guy is that good that he is a huge difference maker, and if he is there at 6, in my opinion, the Giants have to take him. I don't expect him to be there, because I think everybody sees how good this guy can be. This guy might go number 1 overall. And if you look at PFF's grade this year, he was the number 1 rated college football player anywhere. They ranked him 96 out of 100. That is a ridiculous number. This guy is going to take off in the NFL, and as Giants fans, we can only hope and pray that he falls in our lap. When you take a look at Williams, he doesn't have any real weaknesses. For a defensive tackle, he is an incredible athlete. He has an amazing motor. He can take over games by himself. He's great against the run. He's a great pass rusher. He's great at shedding blockers. There's not many weaknesses you can find, and he's inexperienced, so I can actually argue that that's a strength. He has not hit his ceiling yet. He's only going to get better, and he was already ranked the best overall college football player in the country. It is ridiculous. Now, if you want to say his weaknesses is inexperience, it's fair. He's only played 1 full year as a starter at college on the college level, and only 1 year in his whole life at his current position. But, I mean, I think the sky is the limit for this kid. This kid could potentially be one of the top 5 or 6 defensive players in the sport. So, as Giants fans, we can only hope. We could pray that Quinnen Williams somehow falls to us at number 6 overall. I don't expect it because this guy is a tremendous prospect. But if he is there, I will welcome him with open arms to the Giants family. He is the type of player that could change a defense by himself. I would love it if he's there at number 6. For Big Blue. My next preview video will be on Kyler Murray. It was voted on by my subscribers, so be sure to tune in for that. That should be up in the coming days. I'm really looking forward to that. And as always, if you liked what you watch, please subscribe, drop a comment, give me a little thumbs up, tell me who you want to see next. As always, cheers.